Hi, welcome back, General. TrainStation2, alright, happened to claim the rare train as well as the common train from the event, and of course, doing well at second in the fourth competition. Didn't expect to do so well because we just entered into Egypt, so the train capacities are really low. But apparently, getting quite a number of jobs that ask for Japan trains instead of Egyptian trains, so we're really lucky in that context. And of course, the demands for the items has dropped as compared to when I was in Japan itself. So probably due to the entry of new region, it seems like the quantity being asked for is no longer as high, although it's still high in my context because when you have number of 4 capacity common trains and you ask for 200, I think it's going to be really tough. But fortunately, we have a good number of those trains that we have upgraded, like 80 capacity legendaries, a good number of a common train that are upgraded, as well as a rare train, although not fully upgraded, but nonetheless, I think it helps with a bit of upgrade here and there. So generally, logic centers does help as well, because that gives me the opportunity to keep on manufacturing the non-event items, and of course, with the continuous manufacturing of the event items, we have a huge inventory of them that we always can be sending them to meet the demands of the customer, correct? So that's the reason why probably I can do slightly better than expected in this fourth competition itself. What's going to happen really is once we get that 250 coins itself, I'm going to spend 50 into getting the event coins or packs itself. So there are 10 packs of those coin packs you can actually claim, which definitely worthwhile to do it. The remaining 200 I'll be spending into big boxes, right? So, and continuously I'll try to upgrade the town so that we can increase the population for the warehouse upgrades. So pushing quite close to 30,000, which is still a very small population. For those who have been really investing into population, you could have 100,000 by now, hopefully. For me, I didn't really invest too much into that. That was really a regret. But nonetheless, this is something you should be doing before you get too far off into the levels. So upgrading the populations allows you to upgrade your warehouse, all right? So that's something you will work with. If you have really strong or high capacity warehouses, that's really a plus. And besides the fact, I mean, with now the logic centers coming about, that's really helped to ease a bit of the pressure of a small warehouse. I used to be using the non-event factories to store the input and output tray with items. Of course, the output tray will be the completed finished products, and the input tray, once being stored in production, that's where I store all the raw materials. But with the innovations center and the logic centers, at the addition to the whole game play, it'll be very different. Logic centers solve the warehousing problem, whereas the innovation center, using those union dollars or bucks you call it, solve the problem of capacity. So these are some of the improvements I saw in TrainStation2 that helps people like me who are actually free to play. It used to be the case whereby we can't fight with the pay to win, but with this new innovations center as the logic centers, that's really changed the whole ball game. That being said, I'll still encourage you to be a free to play, because what's the point of paying so much, and eventually it's just a game after all. So here we are fighting a tough competitor. Of course, I didn't spend any single gem or union dollars in this competition, and end of the day, I'm quite happy with the results. With the good number of trains being claimed, I mean, 2 legendaries, 1 rare, and 1 common. The only train that's lacking definitely will be the epic train, but that doesn't really bother. Generally, I think the more important is to get the rare and the common. And if really you can't save enough for the epic, we'll just exchange it for parts and of course the special building. Currently still missing a legendary, 2 epic, and a rare, but I think that's part and parcel of the game. You just got to progress it, and eventually you get it. So here we are. I'm going for the commons as well as the rare train. Alright, so this is the rare train, the SNCF class CC65000. In addition to the rare trains I gotten, I think really happy that we got two more additions to the fleet, and of course collected all the required trains already. I think the one to really work on would be the Epic. If possible, otherwise I think it is really happy conclusion to this event. Two more competitions to go. So if you're in lacking of that event coins, you're gonna fight really hard in the last go competitions, and or you've been saving hard for a good train. Remember to save for the legendary first. That's important. Then, of course, along the way, you can work for the rest of the other trains that's a bonus. All right, so in here, positions currently, we are still at the second, 10 hours to go, and now about 9 hours. I'm just going to keep on doing the jobs to collect it and eventually hoping to maintain it second. That's what I'm aiming for. Of course, along the way, we got to collect coins as well. Because a lot of coins required for upgrades, really expensive, but nonetheless you gotta keep on doing in the midst of the competition likewise, and not forgetting you got a union jobs to do. So it's already overwhelming sometimes, but that's the point of the game. It's about managing your resources in terms of materials or even the dispatches itself. So the whole point of the game is about management. So this is something you really got to think about before putting in your dispatches, your valuable resource. Always try to collect the event raw materials first before you send out the dispatches, because you can't get them from the logistics center. Logistics center is only for the non-event items itself, right? So, and if you have time, stay at the maps of the event. Sometimes or even the union maps itself. Sometimes you get a bit of free stuff by clicking on the exclamation mark or watching some of the videos there. So this is something you could if you have spare time, right? So otherwise it's fine because they are really tiny quantities. Nothing to lose if you don't click on them. So generally, these are the small little things you can look out for. And of course, given the fact that we have already been into the post 100% of the event, we can now do two things. So one is to delete the jobs that you can't do by clicking on the bin button, and of course the second one is to watch a video. Then you can bin away the item, and normally this take a couple of hours before you can do it again. So this going to dispose those jobs wisely. I mean, it's not those that you can't do, but rather those that you find it almost impossible given the fact that your factories are filled to the brim or assaults, or even when you're fighting a very tough close match, hoping for a good job to come about. So this is the way you can time it. Likewise, timing for watching the video to expedite the production or getting additional dispatches, all this about timing. This is something you're going to work out on your own. I mean, generally, these are some little bonus that comes about by watching a video. So of course, in terms of the EP, it's still maintained at 50, but you can realize that the keys has been halved to 25 already. All right, so that's the end of this competition. Alright, so spending all I could do with the balance of the event coins, beside the coin packs as I mentioned, is about big boxes. So that's the end of the fourth competition. I wish you good luck and prepare well for the fifth and the sixth competition. Goodbye.